Hello everybody, my name is Mrs Towers and I am the Deputy Head at Holmer Green Senior School, and I'm going to take you through this presentation which introduces our new homework policy and homework procedures for all students at senior school this year. We took on board your feedback when we were unable to use Satchel anymore, that Teams was quite difficult to understand when homework was set and when homework was due, and also we didn't have a parent-facing app that we could use. Sims still isn't allowing us parent-facing access, so we are hopefully putting this in place so that you will be able to understand what homework your child has and on which night they should be doing it. So we are going to be using a system whereby students are going to be learning key powerful knowledge at home, and that powerful knowledge will be set by the teachers, and it is the knowledge that they need in order to be successful in that term's teaching. Revising this knowledge helps them develop long-term memory. It helps them move that information that they've learned in class from their short-term memory to their long-term memory. It also develops the fluency in the core knowledge they need. It creates a clear structure to the week by having it timetabled, and you will know which subjects your child will be working on each night, and we have set it up that each student will have set subjects on each night to work on. If you have a student in Key Stage 3, so years 7, 8 and 9, this is what their timetable will look like. They will be doing 2 sets of homework a day. So for example, on Monday they will have history and biology revision to do. That will add up to a total of 1 hour an evening. That you can see across the week we cover all of their subjects, music or drama, because that will depend on what they're doing. In terms of food, if they're taking food technology that term, they will be issued with an ingredients list and potentially a time plan that they'll need to work on, but that won't be on a certain day. It will depend when their lesson is. And DT and art have ongoing project work. In addition to this, we will continue with our expectation that students will read as per the English Department Directive on Reading for Pleasure, and that will be monitored through their library lessons. So looking at this across the week, this would add up to a total of 6 hours per week of homework and revision and preparation for their lessons. This does increase at Key Stage 4, whereby students will be expected to spend more time on that homework, which you can see in the diagram here. So the one complication, of course, with Key Stage 4 is that they're in different option blocks. In order to see which option block they're in, you will be able to look at the code on their timetable. So for example, if you're in 11A Business Studies, you can see that the homework will be done on a Monday. If you are in 11B Business Studies, your homework will be done on a Tuesday. We keep the same format again for maths, where that's an online program as well, Dr. Frost. And obviously this is a minimum requirement as well. When students are working towards mock exams and big assessments, they may decide that they should decide that they will actually increase the time spent on each of these subjects. So in terms of how students might go about doing this, one of the methods that we have gone through with students is a look, say, cover, write, check method, where they will take their knowledge organiser and they will cover up parts of it, and then they might use working space in a book, or they might use the working space around the knowledge organiser, but they will look at the part of the knowledge organiser, they will say it out loud to help commit it to their short-term memory, cover it up, write down what was on that section, and then check it with a green pen afterwards, and then keep going through those knowledge organisers again and again until that knowledge is very fluent. This method might be quite familiar to you. Lots of primary schools use this with spelling, so this is something that our students are familiar with already. Students are very lucky that we have lots and lots of online ways of self-quizzing, so they might be set Seneca work. BBC Bite Size also has a lot of resources that follow the curriculum that have mini quizzes with them as well. So again, that's a really good method of revising. And some subjects have brought in Educake as well, and Educake has really extensive quizzing on there too. Seneca and Bite Size, though, are free for all students to sign up to or just access via the internet, and are very, very useful for practicing self-quizzing and quizzing on that knowledge. Students might also start to build packs of flashcards as well. It might be a good idea to buy sets of flashcards for each subject. You can buy them on a key ring as well, which makes it really easy to keep them in one place, and then you can remove them and move them around as you need. One of the methods that you can use for flashcards is called the Lightner method, and this diagram takes you through that. So you move your flashcards up the boxes as you know them. So the more you know them, the less you have to practice them. If you start to not understand the flashcard or not answer it correctly, you have to move it back down the boxes. So essentially all your flashcards start in box number 1, and as you move and practice and get more familiar with that, you can move them up the boxes, and it gives you a time frame there. Flashcards are best kept really simple, so one method we have spoken to students about is simply writing a question on the front, an answer on the back, and including some sort of very simple image as well to support them with that learning. The great thing about flashcards is, as a parent, you can pick them up and you can test students on them as well and do some quizzing together with them too. The final way we'd suggest revising would be Cornell notes, and this gives you a little outline of how you might make Cornell notes. So taking the knowledge organizer in key information, and you can see there it comes up with a method of using that to summarize your own notes, but also including key words, key images, diagrams, formulas perhaps, and creating notes pages in that way. In terms of supporting students with additional needs, here are some suggestions that you might want to work through as well. So rather than sitting for the full hour at a time, studying for shorter bursts of time, but more frequently through the week, to really build that from moving information from that working memory to the long-term memory. Asking somebody to quiz you verbally, as well as working through the knowledge in your books. So perhaps using the flashcards for quizzing and not relying as much on rewriting big sections of the knowledge organisers. Using colours and multisensory methods, and I have attached a link to a multisensory learning guide on here that's really, really useful. Moving around as you revise as well. This is a really good method for students, particularly if they've been sitting down a lot in the day. You don't need to sit still to read flashcards or revise that key knowledge. And the other link I've added onto here is a link to a website called Studying with Dyslexia. Even if you don't have dyslexia, it actually comes up with some very, very useful ways for students to revise if they find revision quite challenging. So things that, ways in which you can help, or we would ask you to support us with this, is ensuring your child has a quiet place to work, so making sure that they are not distracted for that time they're spending working with phones, television, or any other devices. Help your child with time management, so setting an established time for homework, not leaving it right until bedtime or really late at night or first thing in the morning before school, when it makes life very stressful trying to get out of the house. Be really positive about homework and the successes that they're having with it. If you could support with the quizzing as well, making sure that you also involve testing your child on core knowledge too. And we do run a homework club here that is bookable on School Cloud. So if they are struggling to complete that homework at home, Homework Club is open every day. And as I said, it can be booked through School Cloud. Thank you for your support and for listening to this presentation. Just a few reminders and to sum up. Details of homework will still be available on Teams. Homework timetable indicates the night that they do the homework, not the night the homework is set. The sanction for no homework is one behaviour point, and Homework Club is available to all students.